Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deckin Around Kickstarter Edition. Today, we're going to be taking a look at any decks that have funded in the past 7 days, any new decks to Kickstarter in the past week, and any decks that are going to be wrapping up their round of funding in the next 7 days. But before we jump into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
And ring the bell.
So, let's take a look at what funded in the past week. I know we have a good amount of decks this week, so I'm excited to see what funded. You know, there weren't a ton that were up for funding last week, but I think most of them actually hit their goal, which is pretty encouraging.
Yeah, well, we were hoping it'd be a slow week coming back from the trip, you know?
Yeah, we'll see. So, congratulations to Devils in the Detail from Riffle Shuffle. Congratulations to the Black Wind Project Illustrated Art Deck. Congratulations to the 5D deck. Congratulations to Card Music Tips on your portable deck. Congratulations to Red Fox Playing Cards V2. Congratulations to the Wild Playing Cards. Congratulations to Turtle Bay Playing Cards. And let's take a look at what's ending this week. So, ending this week we have Halo Playing Cards, the Trek Deck Playing Cards, 52 Hikes in Your Pocket, the Junior Hanafuda Made in America Playing Cards, the
Goodie bag playing
Phobos Volume 1 plus glow-in-the-dark cover and playing cards. That looks like actually like a comic and playing cards combo. Cool. The Magma playing cards. The Cradles of Civilization playing cards. The Luxury Keys playing cards. The Paisley Owl Collector playing cards. The Sakura playing cards, Volume 3. The Bubblegum playing cards. The Breakthrough playing cards. The Parama playing cards. The Parrot Bicycle playing cards, Standard and Extinct Edition. Alright, so make sure to check out all those decks. They're going to be ending in the next 7 days, so if you see any you like, make sure to grab them before you miss out. Let's see what we got going on this week. First up, we have the Adventure playing cards from
So adventurous.
from Paramyth Games. So I haven't actually seen anything of this online yet, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So the one thing it looks like originally, I don't know, they got a good amount of tiers. All right, so what do we got here? 54 different handmade sketches of epic, fantasy, medieval, pirate, Viking, magic, mythical, and ancient Greece. It's an interesting, a lot of artwork in one deck, I guess. 52 cards plus Joker, premium printing, 310 GSM linen, sturdy box.
Sturdy box.
So yeah, and we've said this in the past, and I think one of the things, you know, no matter what market you're trying to hit with playing cards, like, specs on the playing cards are pretty much standard across the industry. Instead of having to put specs in there, put bridge, poker. You know, things like that. If you really want to put in what you're going to do, you don't need the measurements. I don't think there's any value to that, and it ends up taking up space. The weird thing about it, too, is random numbers in there is actually, it draws your eye to it, so it pulls your eye away from information that you want people to see. Card contains sketches from small objects like dice. It's an interesting looking deck. I like the weathered look of the card stock. There's really not a lot of information, though. 15 euros for the deck. All right, so this is going to be an expensive deck that we can see out the gate. Playing cards ship worldwide. Shipping costs will be added after you select your pledge level. Plus, crazy expensive shipping. I like the deck. I think there's potential to it. I don't necessarily think the campaign is where it should be at for what this is going to be, and I'm sure the cost is going to be probably close to $30, so let's check it out. $30 on the dot.
Good guess, buddy.
Yeah, that's just way too much. 10 euros shipping, that should be $5, to be honest. The deck itself should be $19 shipped high end. Again, it's got potential for people who like that fantasy style art. I think the cards themselves, the cards are really well drawn. I'd like to see a little bit more of the deck as a whole instead of this spattering of selected cards, but
What's that back design? I don't understand.
it looks like some sort of like I don't know, like a cave in the back of the card or something, or like a hole or a tear in the back of like a design with eyes in it. It also is a one-way design, which,
Right.
again, fine depending on what you're looking to use it for, but yeah. Who's the printer? I know who's fulfilling. You guys mentioned you're fulfilling, but I'd highly recommend reaching out to uh, a US fulfiller for your US backers just so that you could significantly reduce the cost of shipping. I mean, you'd probably be able to cut shipping by 60% if you went with a fulfillment service on this. 100% worth going for it. Yeah,
Good luck.
good luck. Next up, we have the Japanese Scrolls Playing Cards, 2nd edition from Emmanuel Valtierra. So, Emmanuel usually prints with NPCC and uses Legends as a stretch goal, which I think is always interesting. We see that a lot of times with people who do more collector-style decks with this, which this definitely is. You can see his recently completed Luchadors campaign there, which you should check out the deck specs for right there. Yeah, not a bad looking deck. Cost is pretty much on point for this. $15 shipped.
Does he have the information of shipping and all that stuff up top?
So let us see what we got.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, so this is the one area where I think this does fall a little bit short, is the actual information on it.
Yeah, it doesn't really say anything, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't have the
No.
printer, doesn't have the shipping, which it definitely should. I'm trying to think who fulfilled the last deck I got from him, and I wish I could tell you. Maybe it was Gamblers, but that's definitely information that should be here. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's two editions. One looks like it has a border, one doesn't.
So there is only one edition.
Go down. Right there.
Yeah.
What's that?
So that's a previous version. Not like
So
there aren't.
This is like a version 2.
Yeah, this is a version 2. So you're not able to get.
Oh, before years
yeah,
ago. Okay.
Yeah. All right, there you go. The time
Gotcha.
this time the cards will be printed on NPCC with stretch goal to LPCC. So I think it would be valuable to have not only that information up top. The other thing that I'll say here is you mentioned stretch goals, but you don't actually have them in the campaign. Definitely helpful to visualize those. Again, I know a lot of people who are going to back this campaign and probably backed past campaigns, so they know how your campaigns work, but you don't want to rely on that familiarity. You want to be drawing new people in. So mentioning that what your stretch goals are going to be, how they play out, prominently displaying who's going to be printing, who's going to be fulfilling, all are going to be really beneficial, especially because these are very much collectors decks. And as you're getting new collectors into the community, you want them to feel comfortable with the campaign itself.
Yeah, if you go up, I think there could be images that differentiate the new deck from the older decks that he did. And I feel like when I scroll down, there's just a lot of like the big images of the older decks kind of, I don't think they should be that big, make them a little smaller, just saying these are, previous campaigns that have been funded. And that way these are highlighted the new deck rather than the old decks as well.
Well, yeah, and I guess this also goes to the argument, which I know you absolutely love, renders versus photos. So the focus of the V2 being more on renders versus wanting to show the cards themselves in the V1 because he has the photos available. But I agree, if the focus is the V2, those should be the prominent pictures, even if they are renders. Yeah. Yeah, I think...
I mean, putting the first edition in there is cool, but, again, like you said, it's put a focus on the second edition rather than other editions.
Yeah, I think from a price point, it's perfect. It just definitely needs more information, but good luck, Emmanuel.
Yeah, cool. I like the back design. It's cool.
Yeah. All right, next up we have the Shield playing cards from
Mafia. Good luck. Bye-bye. No.
So, Card Mafia, obviously, Kevin Yu, the mastermind behind Riffle Shuffle. This is going to be no different than most Riffle Shuffle campaigns in the fact that Kevin is just going to have a perfectly put together campaign.
101K already.
Yeah. Yeah,
a day.
Yeah, 400% on his goal. Limited 3,500 sets, features laser engraving, laser cutting, hot stamping, hand assembly. Cards
Just
manufactured by
PCC, metallic ink.
USPCC. Yeah, I mean, he does great here. Um, if this deck is your style, it's definitely a good price point. I think, what do you get? One classic, one deluxe for $34.
I mean, it's a steal. There's one left too.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's the early bird. So the standard is 36 for 2 decks. So 18 each shipped for something that's very intricate on the tuck. There's a lot of uniqueness to it. I'm surprised that he doesn't do like a single tier, but again, it is what it is.
Single tier, what?
Like just a
Like
one
one
deck tier, yeah, just the standard.
Yeah, I think it's easier to do the pairs. People.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I doubt that with the tuck being the main focus, that a lot of people are just going to be wanting the one without the cool tuck box. So
Yeah,
it does
exactly.
make
Yeah.
sense.
Otherwise, everybody would just buy that cool tuck, and the standards would be kind of hanging around.
Yeah. More importantly, we have a video trailer from Rise Magic right here, who's going to be on the show this Thursday. So make sure to check them out live, or Chandler Henry at least, live Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Deckin Around. You know, I mean, listen, Riffle Shuffle, Kevin Yu, brilliant behind the scenes man of playing cards. Crush this. Has all the information you need. The one thing, yep, there you go. Shipping and fulfillment, perfectly highlighted. Again, I'd like to see some of that information consolidated up at the top, but he still does a great job with the way he consolidates his information as it is. So, good luck, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, his campaigns are flawless.
Yeah, good luck, Kevin. Near flawless. No one's campaigns are flawless.
I mean, that thing looks flawless to me, that's for sure.
But yeah, I think ultimately his are the model you should be going after, but every campaign can always be tweaked in some small ways. The Women of History playing cards. Well,
RGB.
yeah, I mean, listen, it's an interesting looking deck. I'd like
Lucky early bird. Is that $2?
yes, $7 shipped.
Crazy.
I mean, the regular price is $7 shipped also. Oh no,
That's
sorry,
funny.
$10 shipped. So again, you can tell just based on the pricing where this is going to be printed. That being said, this is an interesting looking deck. The one thing I will say, and I know we've seen this in the past, where people do a large... See, if you're going to do this whole, like, let's show all the cards, show all the cards. This doesn't look like to actually be showing... Oh no, it does. Okay, they're just, like, in an odd order? I don't know. It's messing with me to look at this, but that's fine. I always like to see the whole picture, but at the same time, you want to make sure you're breaking down the cards individually at a more, like, exactly, like, at a more viewable level here. I think it looks good. Card standard pocket size printed on. Okay. So who's printing? Who's fulfilling? I think those are the two key points on this one. Price point's phenomenal if you're into this deck. So.
Kind of reminds me of the women's deck.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck, ASVP shop. So we're going to touch on this one even though it's not a deck of cards just because I think this is kind of dope. For all you out there always looking for interesting ways to display your playing cards. I mean, this one's unique, man. Interesting lighting to it. I'd be curious to see. Light looks like the lighting changes. Holds a decent amount of decks. Small display holds up to 25 decks. $100. Shipping's where it's going to hurt on this one, and obviously because it's such a big piece, you can't ship it inexpensively. But I think with something like this, with the lighting and everything built into it, if this fits like the theme of your display, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if it's your thing, for sure.
Yeah. I like the creativity though that we see going into deck displays though these days. Like we see TCC crushes it all the time with new displays, but it's nice to see something outside of the box of just a standard square display. So
yeah, I like to see it a little more balanced, like even. It's a little top heavy.
Yeah,
you know, the decks should be moved down a little bit so they're kind of centered properly. It kind of looks wonky.
Yeah, I mean, this may also be a prototype for what they're using. It'll be interesting to see how they do it in mass production. But yeah, it's an interesting looking display. So good luck,
Yep.
Spade Box.
Spade Box.
Next up, we have the Quantum Omniscience playing cards. All right, so decent goal, Mariana. Let's see, access to our private society group where no one is judged and you can receive updates, share career. Okay. What do we got here? $12 shipped. Price points on. Magical playing cards for gamers, magicians, and cartomancy. Designed by from Williamsburg, Virginia. Okay, cool. So I like the fact that this actually touches on something we don't usually see in playing card campaigns, and it's the use of playing cards for cartomancy, not just for poker, magic, or cardistry. So I think that's kind of
Yeah.
one of the areas that a lot of people forget. I do think the design itself might be a little more geared towards that, being one-way designs.
Yeah.
But
I like how they have the image in the background as well, kind of enlarged. It looks really it's creative.
on some of them, but it looks like on others, like the Jack and Queen of Hearts, it's got like binary in the background.
Yeah, it's weird. That might have to do with the cartomancy side of it. You
Yeah,
know, I'm not familiar enough with tarot and things like that, but
it's interesting. It's definitely an
yeah.
interesting deck. Okay, a lot of discussion behind the deck itself. Cool, front back.
That's the
M31.
front and the back of the card. Go up right there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is gonna be, I'm assuming, some sort of gaff card.
Oh right.
Yeah, this I believe is the back design.
Oh yeah.
So printed on M31 linen stock, so it's being printed by MPC. The one thing I'll say right there is, like, you talk about the stock, tell us who's gonna print it. Um, Tell us who's gonna fulfill it. Also, I'm assuming that just based on everything, you're probably printing with MPC. Let's see what we got, or fulfilling with MC as well. So this is where I would say that the cartomancy side of it is obviously the main focus because you're getting a deck and
Booklet.
a booklet, which is going to significantly bump your price to $24. That's a little bit hard to kind of figure out what the price point of the deck is, which is a bit of a actually, here we go. $42 for 2 decks. So it's priced high. Deck
And
alone.
bonus information, man. No, that has the booklet as well.
Oh, yeah. Still, I mean, in my book, looking at that, you're still kind of priced a little high. If someone wants the deck and you're going to say it's about, gamers, magic, and cartomancy, like, make the book an add-on or an option. I think it makes it a little cleaner in that case. But, yeah, I mean, if this is your kind of deck of cards, I'd be interested to see what the print run is. I would have liked to see specifically NPC mentioned as the printer and fulfillment in here as well. Like, the only reason I know it's NPC is because of the M31 linen stock there. So consider those things. Definitely will help draw a little bit more visibility to it. Otherwise, the campaign itself looks pretty good. Like, you touch on a lot of the cards, artworks, the renders are interesting. So good luck.
Good luck.
Next, we have the money deck. I have
Whole lot of text.
I have to say, and I think this is something we're going to see a lot of, Ben Barrett Foster. I feel like this guy might be the one who did the photography deck. He did the beer deck. I knew this looked familiar. Okay. So this is his style of decks. And you know what? It works for what he does. I like the fact that people are trying to use playing cards to disseminate information. I think it's phenomenal. I think the push of that photography deck a while ago really got a lot of people sparked up with the idea of, like, oh, you can use playing cards for more than just playing cards. The one thing I will say about this is, to me, like, finance is such a complex topic. Like, I'm assuming a lot of these are just going to be, like, very basic definitions of things. I'd be curious where the definitions come from, because you don't want to be plagiarizing stuff. And if your background is...
How's your right there? Wall Street Bro and your favorite... Oh, no, forget it.
Yeah,
I thought they were, like, teaming up with the people.
um, Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I would mention here, like where the financial information is coming from. Um, it's an interesting concept. I like the idea of it. I don't think many people would actually use these as playing cards themselves, just because they're a little distracting. Back designs relevant to the deck. Um, talks about the other deck, share the deck.
There's the team. Go up. There's the team. Nope, down.
Okay.
Right there. Business consultant, Dow Joke enthusiast, Newfoundland.
Yeah, so again, though,
Design type
none of these are
institution.
fine. Yeah, he earned his MBA from Harvard Business School and loves synthesized business concept. And okay, so there you go. So Nicholas Fleming. So I'm assuming a lot of this was then designed by Nicholas. But I think that's worth mentioning, just because again, financial information not only is complex, but also can be. I mean, there's some level of reliance there that you want to make sure that you're conveying to people where it's coming from. 100%.
Toronto and Chicago for fulfillment.
Yeah, so who's fulfilling actually would be helpful. Um, just the name of the company. I think it's always good to shout out who your partners are in these kind of things and who's printing the deck. Decks are manufactured and used sustainably harvest printed on non-toxic vegetable-based inks. My guess would be USPCC just based on that language there, but again, that's just from looking at a ton of campaigns. The other aspect of this too, $18 shipped. Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah,
I'd like to see a little less,
yeah,
but you know, it's
same.
It's not bad.
Yeah, no, good job, good luck, Ben Barrett, Forrest. Where are we at next? We have the ODC Playing Cards. USPCC printed, beautiful minimal card design for everyday gameplay, sleight of hand magic, and the wonderful art of cardistry. So again, we'll touch on that right there. Like, focus on your audience. I think this is probably more of a cardistry deck than a magic deck.
I mean, I guess it depends on what the court cards are like.
Yeah.
Because I know he is very into magic.
So. I'll agree, but I think the back design itself kind of lends itself more to cardistry. It looks like it has some visuals built in. Looks like standard-ish courts. You know, we'll call them standard courts, just different font. They look good. I mean, it's a very minimal deck.
Definitely, it's obviously definitely something that could be used for cardistry and magic for sure, and poker. So this is like one of those instances where the deck could work for all of it. You know, it's obviously geared more towards cardistry.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because he is a magician.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where I think, like, again, like, even if you can touch on all of them, like, I think you're better off having... no one's going to come across this deck and say, oh, man, I wish it told me I could use it for poker. If you like this deck and you want to use it for poker, you're just going to, you know? Like,
oh, of course.
You want to focus your... That's kind of what I mean by, like, you want to focus your campaign around that from the start. And so if you tell people, hey, this is a magician's deck, a cardistry deck, and a poker deck, you then end up having to explain within your campaign itself how it is each of those, because otherwise someone's going to come and say, oh, this is a great deck for magicians, and you never talk about it. Why is that the case? Whereas if you just focus on the one, people are going to say, like, oh, dude, I could definitely use this for magic. Like, let them, I think, kind of come to that conclusion a little bit themselves and focus on that primary category. Again, though, also, like, poker play is kind of a standard one. If this was saying collectors, cardistry, and magic, I'd have a little bit more of a, you know, I don't want to say gripe, but a little bit more of a hard push against, like, focusing. But, yeah, I think it's good. Manufactured by USPCC.
Well, I mean, at that point, I just would leave anything. I would just say deck of cards.
Yeah.
Because if you say cardistry, then the people who maybe are collectors or, are magicians would be like, oh, it's for cardistry. You know? So I think just leaving it out totally would be beneficial if that was the case.
Yeah.
You know?
So
fulfilled by Murphy's. We don't see that very often.
So printed by USPCC. Quality premium stock, talks about the important parts here. I mean, Murphy's fulfills their shipping company. UK fulfillment by ODC Playing Cards. So I think that's good that you're self-fulfilling and you mention it. Absolutely love seeing that. I think it's super important. What are we looking at price-wise? $16 shipped. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong at all. It's a great price point. So if this
Yeah, if
is
this is your thing.
yeah, go for it. So good luck. Let's see what else we got here. So
Is this a redo?
this is the fourth redo for this one. Um, we'll take a quick look through this.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Fifth, fourth, yeah.
yeah, fourth. They just
Oh, canceled.
the
So they
last
canceled it once.
yeah, the last. I mean, that's still a failed campaign as a cancellation, but funding
Oh, of course.
unsuccessful on the 15th. So 10 days ago, at the time of this recording, they failed and relaunched. So I think one of the biggest things with this printed box, let's see what we got here. Still spirits have been around. Decks are designed and produced by, the cards are printed by high quality classic US print. Okay, perfect.
Wait, the decks are designed. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So inaugural deck. So here's where my concern is with this in general is in 10 days what changed? Like to me, and I think this is we've seen a couple of these like coasters in the past or like wooden things, cool. To me though, if your deck isn't funding consistently, it means take a step back, poll the people who are looking and not funding or the community and find out why it's not funding and potentially like think about revamping the idea.
How much is it priced at?
Not bad. $14
14
shipped.
shipped.
Yeah.
What was it? Could go into the last campaign and see what the price was in there. I'm just curious to see.
I don't think the price
What he
point
had it-
changed, to be honest, but
Yeah, I'm just curious. Yeah.
$14 shipped. Like, and here's the thing, like, the campaign looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
And like, this is what I'm saying. Like, to me, this is a I don't want to say a red flag of the deck, but a red flag of the campaign. Also, that price point is very low. I think at this point, he's just looking for a little bit of a push over the line so he can just fund it himself for the most part. Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. That being said, though, like, if you've had multiple unsuccessful campaigns, going and funding this yourself is a dangerous move. People are clearly not showing interest for a reason. Going and buying 1,000 of these and then expecting people to buy them after the fact is probably unlikely. Like, it's just...
you're going to lose a lot of money because you don't even realize how much shipping is going to be.
Yeah.
After everything, you're going to lose thousands of dollars.
And I think, you know, while I think it's great that you're passionate about the deck, you need to step back and take feedback from the people who are not funding it for a reason. Because then you can actually tweak the deck in a way that's going to get fully funded. It's not coming out of your pocket, and you can actually have something that people are going to want. Like, I think...
What does unmatched innovation mean? Like, what is that?
I mean, it's literally just a catchphrase.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was like something they're innovating some new wooden chip or something, or...
No, I think they're just saying, like... No, I think it's literally just a sales pitch. Yeah, that being said, listen, I think, you know, for the fourth time this deck is being launched, yeah, maybe it funds this time around, but at the same time, it's funding at a very heavy expense to your pocket, where instead it would be better for you to get some, literally ask for feedback on Reddit, Instagram, United Cardist, Facebook, all of these places, and see what they say, see why people aren't backing this, work with the communities to build a deck that you like and they like, because ultimately they're your customer, and then relaunch it. That way you have an opportunity to actually get a deck that's going to fund successfully, not at a detriment to your pocket. So the other thing I would say in here too is who's fulfilling the deck, but I think that's somewhat of a mood issue at this point, just because I think, yeah, there's a lot. There we go. Well-suited playing card company will process the fulfillment of all orders, ensure yours. Okay, perfect. So you're self-fulfilling, and you mentioned, I think that's really good. Yeah, I think from a financial point of view, like, take a step back, think about how you want this deck of cards to be done. If you really want this deck of cards exactly the way it is because it's for you, not for the community, do a limited print run with NPC, reach out to the backers who have funded your campaign in the past or tried to fund your campaign in the past, let them know you're going to do a limited run through a smaller run printer, and go off book. I think that's the better option there. You'll save a lot more money, but Neither.
It changes the deck a little. It's not going to be a bicycle deck at that point.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
you'd call it whatever you want at that point. Just use styling. But yeah, I think this from a financial point of view is a risky maneuver. So best of luck. I hope it plays out. But again, I highly recommend taking a step back and thinking about how you want this deck to fund. Next up, we have the Slots Playing Cards from Mike Wilson, the Doc 318. Very kind of like
Casino-y?
Yeah, very like cartoony casino-y though. Something about him gives it like a very like cartoony vibe.
For sure. Yeah. That one on the left looks like that vintage label wine deck.
Yeah, a little bit.
The back design looks like pretty similar.
Yeah, it's not a. I like the idea that they're limited to 100 sets, 95 available. So they only gilded. Oh no, gilded trio set. So this is one thing I will say out the gate. That's almost like confusing that that's the first thing you mention. Like, because to me that means that
gilded. Right?
Yeah, like they're gilded trio set, but like that's not necessarily what the campaign's solely about. I would have put this main picture. I would have repeated it down here, and then maybe quickly under put the trio gilded. Just because now, like, I'm coming into this thinking that it's a gilded 3-deck set, and then I look over and there's a single deck here. $15 shipped, price points on point.
Randy Butterfield designed it.
Yeah, awesome. Love Randy's work. Nice backstory. The one thing I would have liked to see too is printer and fulfillment up top.
What does it say right there? I don't know if it said in that image up top.
No, it did not.
Bells and whistles.
Listen, I like the amount of information being put here, the amount of visuals for a 3-deck or for 3 potential decks. There's a lot of information to cover, and it looks well done. Geez, talks about the stretch goals. Add-on chart, awesome. Printed by Expert Playing Card from their Taiwan printer. All right. Ooh, fulfillment from Texas by Gamblers. Cool.
Nice.
Hits all the spots. I'll tell you right now, though, too, and the one thing I don't see here, but I see it in the image, these poker chips look awesome. Like, if you're into this deck, these are actually pretty cool custom poker chips. Might have been a cool thing to do as an add-on with it. I don't know what the cost would have been for that, something like that, or even as a standalone campaign. Cool. But yeah, they look really cool. So, Mike, something to consider in the future is poker chips as well. So, I think on the price point on this, though, is phenomenal. And 3 decks for $34. Can't go wrong. He does have a coin. Did we see the coin? Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's that slot machine.
Nice, unique coin. I like that. Cool. Good luck, man. I think this is going to do well.
How much is a gilded trio?
Let's see. Gilded trio, $90 shipped, so $30 a deck.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, a little high for a non-foil gilded, but yeah, I mean, if this is your style, this is definitely a cool deck. Already passed its goal. No surprise there. Again, I think this has some good name recognition behind it and some good style to it. But dude, I'd like to see those poker chips, though.
Those are nice chips.
Yeah. So, all right.
It's a nice deck. That Ace of Spades is really cool.
Yeah. Good luck, Mike. Next up, we have the Entwined Playing Cards, Volume 1, Summer. So this is, okay, and I'll say this from the jump. The subtitle, while I always say is important to use, I don't think this is the best way to utilize it. Playing cards. Like, I searched for... And I think this is something you need to consider when you design a campaign. How are people finding your campaign? People are searching for playing cards. Not to say you shouldn't put playing cards in the title or playing cards in the campaign, but then to say... Playing Cards deck, Entwined Volume 1 Summer Playing Cards. I definitely think both the title and the subtitle here could be tweaked to be a little more enticing. Looks like very much a collector's oriented deck. Nothing wrong with that. Got a coin. Uh, Summer
Pretty
Gold deck.
works.
Yeah. Summer Gold and Summer Rose are the two variants. Cool. Yeah, not bad. Very, very artistic looking deck. Um, who is printing? NPCC and fulfillment. Perfect. While I again would like to see it a little bit closer to the top, just in general, it is close enough to the top that it's not, I'm not scrolling all the way to the bottom. The one thing I would say is I would kind of make the fulfillment and shipping portion of it stand out a little bit more as its own standalone category, not just as part of explaining the cards as a whole, or replicating it in a section that specifically states shipping and fulfillment or something along those lines. Great visuals on all the cards, though. That's actually a really unique, kind of cool looking seal. Yeah, I mean, if this is your type of deck, it's not a bad deal. Price point, $23. Yeah. I mean, for a foiled deck with foil on the tuck and embossing, I think that's a reasonable price point.
Yeah.
Like the stretch goals. Cool.
NPCC is seeing a lot of decks being printed recently.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think is awesome. So, good luck. Already crushed the goal, so gonna do great. Next up, we have the Gothic playing cards. These kind of remind me of the Tuck for some reason from like the Lux decks.
Yeah, it totally does.
Yeah, like very reminiscent there. Not that that's a bad thing. Two editions of premium playing cards printed by Cardamundi with double-sided cold foil and fully custom designs. Oh, it's from Elephant Playing Cards.
Yeah.
Nice. Gothic playing cards.
I think their shipping is free for the US, I believe. Got an email from them today actually saying that. They're a little bit pricey though.
$29 a deck, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Cold foil on both
foil,
sides, but like yeah, that's a lot.
$30 is more of like a gilded foil deck,
It's a good looking deck, I'm not gonna lie. Like
yeah.
It hurts.
I wish the faces weren't black though.
Yeah. I do.
Or the red. It's nice though, collecting wise.
Yeah.
It's a nice collector's deck.
It definitely is.
It actually reminds me of like a Geo deck in a way.
Yeah, I definitely dig the deck. But yeah,
even the court cards are kind of Geo-ish in a way.
Maybe because it's full bleed and borderless, like on the faces, but
yeah, just like the facing forward, and they just kind of resemble it. The back of it kind of resembles.
I don't necessarily see it, but I think that's also one of the interesting things about the way people make connections to the styles. But yeah. No, I mean, listen, I think from a collector's point of view, this is an awesome looking deck. I like it. I wish that price point was a little bit lower. That's the only thing that's like makes me hesitate personally about it. But again, cold foil on both sides, like it's a costly process. Like that just is what it is. Designed by Elephant, printed by Cardamundi, fulfilled by Gamblers. They hit that from the top. Elephant knows what they're doing with this stuff too. Like again, another great looking campaign.
Nice deck.
Yeah, I like the fact that they have the timeline too. I always say this, and I wish more companies would start using the timelines in it because I think it adds a benefit. The timelines and the pie charts are the two things I would love to see. But and then what's the set? Yeah, 56. So if you get the full set, it lowers the price point to 28 from 29. Okay, so saving $2, but it is a good looking deck. So good luck, Elephant Playing Cards. Next up, we have the Patriotic poker-sized playing cards. Made in the USA by USPCC. Awesome. Right in the subtitle there.
Cheap.
$9
shipped.
No, that's the book. The deck at an early bird is $15 or 20.
Wow.
All right, so we've discussed this a lot about the fact that you do need some sort of differentiation between early bird and standard, but $5 is a lot. Like, I'll be very
I mean,
honest.
$5 is great, but I think if you want to have $5, it should be 10 and 15.
Yeah, like, and honestly, like, I think that for me, I think the most motivating price range is like $2 to $3 because you're not taking a huge hit on it, and you're also not jacking the price up on the other end so much that people are turned off from it because you still want people to back your deck post early bird. Yeah, I mean, to me, this is a relatively obviously it's a fully custom deck, but it's still relatively standard. $20 shipped is on the high end of what I would like to see this for. To me, this is more of a $16 to $18 deck shipped. Um, yeah, but if this is your
Yeah,
style,
it's so specific. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a specific niche deck that,
the one thing, and I do want to see this here, is I don't see a great shot of the back design. While it's teased in a lot of this, obviously it's a lot of renders, but it's always
right
covered.
there is pretty good.
Yeah, but like I want to be able to like read it. You know, it's a little too like small for the detail that's there. That's the one thing I do wish I could like. Maybe it's just my eyes are bad. I don't know, but
Yeah, I mean, it's big enough for me.
yeah,
My eyes are bad, but you don't get the full back shot, which is, I think, what you're looking for.
yeah, and like I'd like to see the cards a little more. Again, this is like my big thing. I love to see all the cards. While there may not be much variation, it always is worth showing all the cards. Yeah, if this is your style deck, it's definitely not a bad deck. Printed by USPCC, awesome. Uh, do we have fulfillment information? That's the only other thing I'd be curious about. Premium card stock, cool. Risks and challenges. So the one thing I would say then is fulfillment information would be helpful. Even if you're self-fulfilling, again, make sure you're listing it in there. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's this is the other thing I would actually say too from the rewards point of view. So I'm going to go here to the sergeant tier. Where are we? Staff sergeant tier. Clearly, I don't know what order ranks go in the military. So there we go. One collector's uncut. So I always recommend doing an uncut as an add-on, not as a tier itself. The reason being, you want people buying a deck. If people want an uncut, they're gonna get an uncut, whether it's an add-on or a tier. But if they want a deck and an uncut, you've now made it more complex. Like, you have to think of what your primary sale goal is. Your primary sale goal is a deck of cards. If you can get someone to buy a deck of cards and an uncut, awesome. Most people are not going to be buying an uncut, so to me, it doesn't necessarily deserve its own tier. But I still think
How much is there shipping on top of that?
for the uncut,
Yeah.
nope.
No. Okay.
Yeah, so 40's within the acceptable price range, we'll call it. Um,
That's debatable.
yeah, 15. Yeah, I mean, again, like I don't know if I would go for 20 on this. I think like that 16 to 18 even price point would be better, 18 being the high end, but yeah, if this is your style deck, check it out.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Next up we have the Cyber Crisis playing cards.
Some of the names of these campaigns crack me up. Stunned mullets.
This is
Interesting. This reminds me of like it would be like a game or something. Is this kind of
yeah, it's very vibrant, very eye-catching. Crushed its goal already, so awesome. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, which tells me it's got to be something that
First campaign created.
3,000 decks.
$28
Cybertron.
shipped. Early bird, $28 shipped. Hold on, is that a standard edition box set? It looks like it's 2 decks for
There's those two. There's 3 on the other one.
oh no, you get 2 decks.
3 decks
It's 2
total,
decks.
I think.
Yeah, you get 2 decks for 28 shipped. Okay, fair enough. Non-early 41 shipped for
2 decks in a gift box.
yeah. It looks like there's some foil on it. We'll have to dig into the details a little bit, but that's right on the cusp of what I'd say is pricing itself out. But
we hope to. Oh, let's see. Wasteland Rebels. That's cool. They created this whole story.
I'm assuming that there's, yeah, like you said, I think there's some sort of like other push behind this. Like this must be coming from another community. The reason I say that is I have not seen anything about this on social media. So for it to have that much momentum behind it, I think is awesome. But I'm curious where it came from.
What's the person's name?
Unique Zip.
Unique Zip.
Yeah. So good luck.
They have some big. Let me see.
Oh,
Unique Zip.
BizarreDodo.com. So they probably have their own like brand behind it. Dude, if you're into Cyberpunk, this is actually probably one of the cooler Cyberpunk decks I've seen in a while. All one-way designs. I don't know how, a lot of people are going to feel about that from a collector's deck point of view, though. It's good looking.
Oh, they're a big brand. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, so I figured that would probably end up being the case.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, though, is I'm still not seeing who's printing the deck. I'm assuming they're fulfilling themselves if they're a solid, like, large-size brand. There you go. Printed by USPCC. Perfect. I'd recommend...
Press.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Didn't they say 3,000 decks?
Yeah.
So how they printed on the website?
Yeah, so they're not... Yeah. Decks? So minimum for WordPress is, what, 15?
15,000.
Yeah. So a little bit of a discrepancy there. Something they may want to address. Yeah, because it's going to be a lot more. Well, hold on. Let's see. All decks printed by USPCC WordPress. Yeah. I was going to say maybe one of them they're doing on a higher print run, but...
Look at that. They're copying or taking some inspiration from Card College.
Oh, with that acrylic case?
That acrylic case with the little circle in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if this is your style, this is a pretty cool campaign.
They put it together nicely.
Yeah. For someone who isn't in the playing card, the chips, I'd say nix. But for something that, for a company that isn't in the playing card space, I think they did a phenomenal job here. Yeah, and the price point really isn't bad for what you're getting.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So clearly from the campaign, they're doing well. So good job to you guys. Good luck. The one thing, yeah, I'd be curious about the WordPress distinction there, though, just because of the minimum. So
yeah.
Next up, we have the Romantic Heroes Poker Deck. Bicycle branded, printed by USPCC, and fulfilled by Gambler's Warehouse. Cool. Now I know everything I need to know about this campaign, other than the price point. Thank you for properly using subtitles. Art-rich 54 card poker deck featuring dual identity face cards with a narrative twist. I mean, if this is someone's style, this is a pretty cool looking deck from an artwork point of view. Kind of gives me a little bit Disney vibes, but
yeah, for sure.
And I don't mean that in like they like ripped off Disney in case Disney's listening, in the sense of like just the artistic style. It's very cool.
Yeah.
I like the look of it.
I'll go up. Right there. Oh, okay.
What?
That kind of looked like Beauty and the Beast there for a second, but it's not a beast. But
no, it's just a dude with a beard.
Yeah.
Printed by USPCC on classic stock, poker size.
I'm not calling you a beast, Ty.
I was gonna call you out on it, but I'm just gonna let it lie. I'm not too worried. Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, it's definitely got some good artwork to it. It's got a good vibe to it. I really do dig the amount of effort that went into the story itself. They're showing you off all the important cards here. Absolutely well done.
Back design, huh?
Yeah, one way. It's unique. It's definitely a unique back design. Stretch goals. Cool. What's the price point here? $14 shipped.
Nice.
Yeah. In a red or a blue variation. Dude, yeah, this deck. And I like that they're doing a nice, like, unique box there. That looks good. Yeah, that looks really good. Well done. Very well done.
Book, everything. Yeah,
Yeah, I
good
mean,
job.
they're hitting the right points for their target audience. This is a collector's deck, and collectors like boxes. Collectors like art books. Like, the only thing they're missing is a coin. So, well done. Got your socials up there. I think that's absolutely integral. Um, information about
Cool.
yeah. Yeah.
Everything's there. Good job.
Good luck. Especially if it's their first deck of cards. I just want to see here. Yeah, for your first deck of cards, you got some good momentum there. Good luck. Next up, we have the 4 Elements playing cards, which is a
Yeah, we've seen this before.
relaunch. Yeah,
Yeah,
canceled and relaunched. All right, so let's see. Let's see what we got here. I think one of the
close to
big,
backing.
yeah, I think one of the goal is also relatively low, 2,300.
Yeah.
I think one of the first things we saw with this one though initially was the usability issue of the cards.
Yeah, it
Um,
was hard to see what the suits were,
and like, there's no like translation. Like, what is Ace of Fire? Like, this is the issue I genuinely have with it. It does look like they changed, and I have to say that was a brilliant idea there. They changed the pips so they're not all just the same looking. But okay, oh perfect. Look at that, translated as diamonds. I definitely feel like they may have watched the original critique on this, so kudos to you on that one. Cool. Translated as clubs, translated as hearts, translated as spades, as diamonds. I do like the distinction now. It's a little bit cleaner. I still think this is a tough deck for a poker deck.
yeah, I mean it's tough. You wouldn't use it for Magic Poker. It's definitely a collector's deck.
It's a collector's deck, but that being said, it's a good-looking collector's deck. Like, the back design's cool. The faces are unique. They remind me of like something you'd see more in like a anime style deck, maybe.
Yeah, I see that.
But yeah, but it's really, if this is your style, like, it's really not a bad looking deck. What's the price point on
What's the
this?
price?
$18 shipped. Perfect on the price point. Printed by Cardamundi. The one thing I would like to see still is fulfillment. Who's going to be fulfilling? Is it self-fulfilled, or are you using one of the larger companies or any fulfillment company in general? Definitely worth putting, but I'm glad to see the changes that came through on this campaign because I think it makes it much more of an appealing deck than the first time you launched it. So good luck, Michael. I hope you're fun, man. Next up, we have...
Lion's Deck of Elements. Is that a deck?
Yes, attempt 2. Alright, so 2 created. I don't know if I'd be throwing attempt 2 in the title, but I do like the comical nature of it. Ooh, that's a high goal.
Attempt 3.
Every card is illustrated. Dude, if this is your style, it's not a bad looking deck. Paper quality, printed by USPCC on B stock. So the one thing I would say there is with that sort of goal being printed on non-crushed stock, putting the print run would be helpful to kind of discern why it's a $10,000 goal. Yeah, I like the kind of like whimsical graphic novel-esque vibe of the elements. It's kind of cool. What else we got here? Target audience, risks and challenges. Yeah, I would say definitely rely more on the fact that you're printing with USPCC. Mention who the fulfillment's going to be. Use the images and the media kit that USPCC has available. Also, show more cards. I want to, I think in this case, like, it would be worthwhile to have more pictures. 4 pictures is a little bit small for a campaign. Price point is $15 shipped. Good on the price point. Good luck, line. Next up we have... That's it.
That's it.
That's it. What you backing this week, Steve?
Stunned mullets. No, I'm just kidding. I think I'm gonna back. Let's see, what would I back? I'd back Gothic. It's pretty tight. Um, I would also back the Shield by Riffle Shuffle,
Nice.
and that's it for me, man.
So on my end, I dig the adventure playing cards. I think there's potential there, just need some tweaks. I would definitely back the Japanese scroll playing cards. I missed out on Trident and Sword, so Shield to me doesn't really jump out. I think the Tuck is phenomenal, but like also not really my style necessarily.
Dude, all I gotta say is coming back from the showroom,
Yeah.
from the out of play showroom, I gotta have at least one box like on a shelf of that
Yeah.
design.
Oh no, it's
And that
definitely a
color
great display
That
piece.
color is fire.
Yeah, it's a great display piece, and I think the deck is
Yeah.
phenomenal. I by no means am knocking the deck. I think it's spectacular.
For sure.
Because I missed out on the first two, I'm kind of just like, all right, like I didn't get behind the series in general. Yeah, I think for me, yeah, Gothic, Japanese Scrolls, and dude, if I was into Cyberpunk, I would hands down be back in that Cyber Crisis playing cards because I think that's a phenomenally done deck. So, yeah, cool. Well, good luck to everyone who has a campaign out this week. Guys, let us know in the comments below what decks you're interested in this week. We're always curious to see what you're planning on backing. I think it's always cool to kind of see what people plan on backing just based on their different styles and their different tastes. But yeah, let us know and make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We obviously drop these every Monday with new decks to talk about and new feedback to give. So thanks for watching.